everybody, welcome in. Fresh takes, hot and ready for everybody. Paul Russo, Nick Felice, as always. Nate Sharman behind the scenes. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Only 10 days till Christmas, I just realized. So
yeah, you're in panic mode.
I haven't bought one gift. So
what a shame.
I don't know. I'm off all next week, so I'll figure it out. We'll stop by your favorite outlet mall. We'll stop by the mall, and we'll get the gifts. But we'll come through.
Yeah, I do have one gift already. Good to go.
It's for your brother?
No, my mom. Pat's a tough buy at this point. He kind of falls into the gift card category at this point.
Bro, I would have guessed the sneaker category.
Well, he has too many. So
I've had the same pair of sneakers for like the last 5 years.
Pretty much the same. I wouldn't say as long as you in that sense, but don't get me wrong. Like I like a nice pair of shoes. Like I'm currently wearing it. I'm not about to whip mine up because that will, one, result in breaking the desk, and two, probably breaking my leg. But I'm wearing like the Paul George prototypes, but I've had them now for like 5 years. Pretty sure I got them like 5 years ago. And but like likewise though, like I have like a pair of blue sneakers that I wear. I wear them to work. I wear them kind of just out and about. But I've had them now for, it's got to be at least like 3 or 4 years. And same thing with like another pair, like the gray ones. And I think my longest tenured shoe right now is my penny ones, and I don't really wear them all that often.
What Paul is trying to say is, if you're going to go out there and buy him a Christmas gift, he would love a pair of sneakers.
The only pair of sneakers, so the only quote unquote sneakerhead way about me are either the penny ones, because they're just a classic shoe to me, or anything in the swingman category, the Griffies. So,
all right.
But other than that, I guess, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like me, you, although to be fair, really, the only person, I guess, in like the friend group that we all collectively hang out with that's like a true sneakerhead is Pat. Now that I'm really thinking about it.
Well, we always knew he was the oddball of the group. So, yeah, so.
Nice to Pat.
I'm just kidding. But if the Jalen Brunson ones ever come out, I'm there.
It's funny you mention him, because we will actually be talking about him and the Knicks here in a while.
The red hot Knicks.
But first, we do have to get to NFL action. Week 14 in the books. To me, it was probably the most exciting weekend of the NFL we've had in quite some time this season. Mm-hmm. It's weird because I know the past really few years we've had a discussion about this is not quality football. There's actually was a lot of pretty decent football still this past weekend. I mean, you could really find some rough stuff, but I think first and foremost we got to start with Thursday night, Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's hard not to, I think, discuss it a little bit. It's certainly a bit of a redemption here, a little bit, I'd say, with him. And making history. The first time in like 40 years we've had a quarterback go 98-plus yards under a minute and win the game. I think part of it, too, is like, okay, it's just the Raiders being the Raiders, but you do have to give credit to Baker. I mean, he kind of recognized, I know, like the one play in particular that stands out was there was an offsides that was going to be called, and just kind of took the risk downfield a little bit and got picked off. I remember hearing in the highlight film afterwards, like, oh, Baker Mayfield reception, but like very visible. I think it's just Al Michaels in his age missing the flag. But I mean, heads up job, I think, by Baker in a really tough scenario as well, just overall.
Yeah, well, the one thing I got to say about this game, it was exactly like the Monday night game from the last NFL game that was played.
Right.
The team was down
100%, actually.
The team was down 16-3 in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And they scored 2 touchdowns. And need to remind you, these are the last 2 Super Bowl champions as well in Tampa Bay and the Rams.
Yeah.
Very weird there. Score ends 17-16 in almost the same exact way. So that was strange. But with Baker Mayfield, now he's had like a week as the quarterback of the Rams. At that time, he was just, 48, I think just over 48 hours as the quarterback. So, and we didn't even know if he was going to play that night. I think you announced it today on this our last week's show.
Yeah,
at this time, you said
that he was at least active.
yes.
He didn't even get the start. I mean, they did start Wofford.
Only one drive, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't long. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, he also apparently got hurt. So, yeah.
I mean, Baker's gotten a lot of hate over the last year and a half, whatever it's been. But, I mean, this guy's no scrub.
No.
I mean, he took the Cleveland Browns to its first playoff berth in like a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, what is he? What is the difference between him and Dak Prescott? Like, really, what's the difference? You know, neither one have ever made it to a conference championship game, and that goes with Lamar Jackson as well. So,
yeah, he's definitely a bit of a sacrificial lamb in Cleveland last year, when he didn't really need to be. Joe Burrow, speaking of the Browns, finally beats them for the first time in a stat that we brought up that we couldn't really believe. But the Bengals are rolling after a rough start, 5 straight wins, and it kind of looks like they're kind of back in that groove they kind of got in last year a little bit.
yeah, I was never too nervous where they 0-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a slow start, and I was never too nervous with the Bengals just because of who Joe Burrow is. Joe Burrow, I think, is still a top 3 quarterback in this league right now. I think you got Allen, you got Mahomes, and you got Burrow. All in the AFC. That's what makes that league so tough. But, you know, this Bengals team's good. Jamar Chase is back. T. Higgins proved that he could be a number 1 for some team. He's just not on this team. Now this team is I'll never – but they did beat Kansas City last year, so they're the favorites in my mind. The Bengals are the favorites to win the AFC right now. They are the defending champs of the conference. They have an elite quarterback. They have a great team, and they're red hot right now. So I like the Bengals, man. They're going to be tough to take out. I don't know. I mean, very impressive to beat the Browns, but not really because Deshaun Watson, it's only his second game with the team in an actual game. That whole organization's a mess right now. It's hard to believe that Baker Mayfield, who's on a terrible Rams team right now, is probably in a better spot than the Browns are right now. But so, yeah, the Bengals are good.
Yeah. Speaking of the Bills a little bit, I think the score does indicate. I mean, they had really the Jets in the bag of the whole game in my mind. Took more than just a win. They took a couple of Mike White's ribs, even though he's expected to still play and everything like that. Weather games are always fun like that because that was a winter game that, look, we're used to seeing like the snow and everything like that end up being a slick one. Kind of fun to see a little bit. And kind of like what I said, I thought the Bills would be kind of fine and didn't quite cover the spread, as I said. I want to put that in the bag a little bit, but they could have if it hadn't been for that actual block punt safety that ended up happening towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this Jets defense is good, so it wasn't going to be an easy game for the Bills, but you know they did their job, got the win. That's all that matters. You know, it's just one of those games you're like, let's get the win and let's move on. You know, I mean, what is the standings right now? Are they the number 1 seeds right now still? The Bills.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so they got some work to close up that number 1 seed because it is absolutely huge now. This is the second year of it just being the 1 bye, so it's tight though. I mean, Chiefs are the same record, so I don't know. I mean, I have to look at the schedules. The Bills are hot though, 1-4 in a row. You know, I have to look at who left, so it's hard to determine who's going to get it. But I don't know. It was a good win. The Jets have been playing well this year, but I think they're like the Giants. Played a little, you know, they've overachieved a little bit this year. It's a tough conference, like I've said. I don't know if the Jets are going to make it. It's going to be tough. The Patriots continue to just be there. The division's good this year, surprisingly. The whole division was pretty solid this year.
I would like to take this time to recognize the fact that I believe you and Nate owe me an apology with Dan Campbell.
Get to 500 first, then you get my apology.
Man, just a lot of interesting games really overall, but before we really pivot to our picks here, do want to make note, Brock Purdy. That's really relevant. How about that?
Yeah, that's a nice thing to see. I mean, we've seen guys like that come up from one game. This Buccaneers team, well, I mean, let's be real. They're not very good.
No.
This Tampa Bay team's not that good.
No.
And this Niners defense is really good.
Officially below 500 now as well, by the way.
Yeah, I think there's a good shot that winner of that division is going to be under 500. We've seen it plenty of times now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Niners, yeah, you lose your quarterback, but was the quarterback, I mean, I don't know. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is just a system quarterback, and I think that's what Brock Purdy's going to be as well. I don't know if that's built to win a championship, but they're built to be still a good team. I mean, yeah, losing Jimmy G was a big loss. Losing Trey Lance, I guess, was a loss. I don't really know how good he is, but we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll jump right in then with our picks because Thursday Night Football this week, we get to see the Niners all over again as they visit Seattle tonight.
This is always a rivalry game. It doesn't matter what division you're talking about, what two teams in the division. It's always different football when you're talking about division opponents. And this is at Seattle. I said we've seen guys come up and play good for one game. I don't know. I think Seattle's going to pull out the victory tonight. Going Seattle.
I'm going Niners. Seattle, I don't know if it's just Geno regressing to the mean or what exactly, but they haven't looked great the past couple weeks like they did off the bat. And I mean, I know they're playing a little bit better, but you can't lose to the Panthers the way they did. I mean, outside of the Panthers really just not playing defense, that final touchdown Seattle had, I mean, it was a 2-possession game for a while.
Yeah.
So it's tough. This one I can see going like final possession, but I just think the Niners just have a little bit more in the tank at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, to roll with that. So Saturday, our first of the Saturday games on here, 3 of them. They're all on NFL Network. First of which is 1 p.m. Colts at the Vikings.
Going Vikings.
Yeah, I think they need to get the ship righted. They haven't looked, again, another team that hasn't looked great the past few weeks in the grand scheme of things, even though, to be fair, Kirk Cousins threw for over 400 yards against Detroit, and Justin Jefferson had over 230 yards receiving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. And a loss nonetheless.
He's one catch away from 100.
Yeah, so I think the Vikings are by far and away in that game.
Wait, does he have 1,500 yards exactly?
Yeah, he's at 1,500 exactly. So 4:30, Ravens at the Browns.
Like I said, division opponents. But I don't know if this is working out with Deshaun Watson, so I'm going Ravens. You know, they are very boring to watch.
See, my quarterback concern is more on the Baltimore side of things again this week. Huntley's questionable. The guy they had come in, was it Aaron Brown or whatever? Or someone like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Gosh, and I thought even with Huntley, I thought the Ravens kind of thought maybe they would have a shot against Steelers, and they did. I mean, they beat the Steelers, but I still picked the Steelers, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just pull the inverse thing again for the Baltimore fans out here. I'll take Cleveland, but this is a big question mark game on both sides of the ball. It really is. Yeah. Because, I mean, you saw Jacoby Brissett a couple times, even in for Deshaun.
You got me sold to watch it.
Interesting spots. The nightcap, 8:15, Dolphins at the Bills.
The Tua Cushion revenge game.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Dolphins, their defense is just not very good. This is at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Does Miami ever win at Buffalo? I know Buffalo was bad for a while there, but they ever come up north and win like that? So I like Bills and the points.
I'm going to go Miami.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Why? Yeah, I got to hear this.
I think there's a lot of, we'll call it uneased tension between the two teams. A lot of back and forth. And I think whoever just kind of is able to get out and grab momentum first, go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go Miami.
I was sold on the Dolphins for a little bit. Who did they lose to last week? They let me down.
They lost to the Chargers.
Chargers, yeah.
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just them not throwing to Jalen Waddle costing me a fantasy football playoff spot is what's got me mad about him. But, yeah, I think the Bills are winning this game.
Yeah. Sunday, 1 o'clock, the early window opens with Eagles at the Bears. I think this is another one we can collectively go on 3. 1, 2, 3, Eagles.
I won't say it with you, but I'll say it.
Okay.
Eagles.
Attaboy. Falcons at the Saints. You want to talk about the NFC South? Well, here you go.
Oh, this is a good one. This is the one you mark on your calendars.
No, it's not.
Give me the Falcons. I think the Saints are absolutely trash.
Oh, gosh. They are both hot messes in their own rights right now. You have an inadvertent quarterback controversy going on in Atlanta. You got a quarterback controversy that's been going on in New Orleans that I just don't know why they just don't play Jameis at this point.
I think Ritter's going to play for the Falcons.
He is. No, he's starting. But the stuff going on with Mariota's hilarious to me. He's hurt.
I mean, the Saints,
he's going to have he's having surgery. I believe it's on Monday.
The Saints have not been the same since they moved Taysom Hill to the tight end position,
where he deserves to be outside of the bench anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't like doing it, but I am taking the Falcons. I'm with you.
Thank you. Here we go.
This is what I'm dubbing the Bomani Jones Bowl, because he's in love with this matchup this week. Lions at the Jets.
I mean, who wouldn't be in love with that matchup? Lions at the Jets.
I'm just ready to see teams at 500 after this. This is a pick'em game, by the way.
I'm going with the Lions. You got me sold.
I'm going Lions as well. Going Lions. Man Campbell coming for some knees. Steelers at the Panthers.
Got a quarter. Like I said, they did lose last week, though. I don't know. I still think he's going to try to find a way to get to over 500. I'm going Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
Okay.
Is Mitch Trubisky starting, or is Kenny okay? I know it's a second concussion, right?
I don't know yet. I think they're planning for either or. Here's my thing. The Panthers have a lot of the what I call major league element, the movie Major League, where we're playing against the owner, we're playing for each other, and we're playing against the owner. I feel like we got that going on in Carolina a little bit.
Steve Wilkes has done an incredible job with that team.
So, where they're going against ownership, where they kind of want to.
Spoiler alert.
I'll go ahead and tank.
I haven't seen the movie.
That's on you. That ain't on me. Movie's from 1989. I'm going Carolina. Going Carolina.
I went Steelers.
That's Carolina. Cowboys at the Jags. I tell you what, the Cowboys in their struggles against Houston last week.
Jaguars played well last week.
They really this really makes me want to take Jacksonville.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
I don't know if Jacksonville can consistently do it yet, though.
Yeah, no.
That's the main issue with that. And the Cowboys really need a game here, in my mind, to go out and I'd say smash mouth football, kind of punch in the face a little bit. I'm gonna go Cowboys because I'm guessing there's a fire lit in them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs at the Texans.
I thought we might see our first ever 20-point favorite here.
We're at 14. It's kind of flat. It's kind of flat line. I think a lot of it has to do with the Texans last week and the way they played against Dallas.
If this was at Kansas City, maybe.
Yeah. I'm going Chiefs here. I don't think there's a debate.
Take Chiefs money line. Play it safe.
Oh, okay. Smart man. 4 o'clock, we're in the late window, 4:05. Cardinals at the Broncos. Good God. We might have backup quarterback city in this game, depending upon Russell Wilson's concussion and injury.
If their stars were in there, I wouldn't even notice they were not backups.
Fair point.
Broncos country, let's ride.
The only reason why I'm doing this is because they have Trace McSorley. I'm going the Cardinals. So, talk about a game that, God. Like, that's got rock fight written all over it. 4:05 Patriots at the Raiders.
The old Tuck rule game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold on the Patriots, so I'm going Raiders at home.
You know, if this game ended with 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter, I'd probably go Raiders, but the game doesn't. I'm going Patriots. Raiders just can't close it out.
No.
All right, late-ish window, or later window, rather, 4:25, Titans at the Chargers.
Are the Chargers getting hot?
Are the Chargers for real?
Never. Even when they had Philip Rivers and LT, they're never for real. But the Titans have slipped a little bit.
I'm going Chargers here because of that slippage. That was not a good look by the Titans last week. Up by 3 possessions at one point on Jacksonville, only to get the doors blown off of them. Not a good look.
I'm just mind blown. Is there not a Sunday night game?
Well, the Sunday night game we'll circle back to.
Gee. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's at the top.
Yeah.
But
You just realized because of what we're looking at.
yeah, Chargers. I'm going Chargers.
And then Bengals at the Buccaneers. I'm going Bengals.
Bengals.
Sunday night, the New York Giants visit my beloved Washington Commandos.
Well, they just played.
Yes.
We both got the pick wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We did not see it. I'm gonna go tie. I'm going tie again.
That's disgusting.
I'm gonna go.
That's
tie
absolutely disgusting
again.
on your part. I'm going Giants.
All right. So if
I'm
the Commanders win,
I'm continuing with what I've been doing all year with them. I'm taking the opposite, and whatever happens, happens.
I still do not buy that. What, they play the Texans that 1 week?
That one might be a little bit different.
We didn't have a show. I still think you would have picked
Yeah.
the Commanders that week.
Yeah. Monday night, Rams at the Packers. Again, potential rock fight coming, but Baker Mayfield versus Aaron Rodgers on Monday night.
I'm going Rams.
I'm going Rams as well. The momentum. All right, let's check out college football here. Not a ton to really dive deep into, but a couple good talking points.
When's the first bowl?
First bowl game is tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., but we'll circle back to that. Start with Mike Leach. Passed away Monday night due to complications from they're calling a heart condition. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to really dive too deep into what I have kind of heard what actually happened, but really a pioneer within college football. Not the inventor of the air raid offense, but kind of perfected it, took it mainstream, and now you see what is the predominant offense in all of really football from high school up to the NFL now.
Yeah, that was some shocking news the other day. Definitely sad to see because, I like the jokes, and he was definitely a funny coach. That, he was on a lot of memes and a lot of clips.
Right.
So he will definitely be missed.
The Pirate was 61, and we always talk about the Saban coaching tree, Stoops' coaching tree at this point, but Leach's coaching tree is uber impressive in its own right. Lincoln Riley is the first one that comes to mind, as always. Hupple comes to mind now. But needless to say, like I said, Leach has his thumbprint on football for eternity now. And the part that sucks, and I'm not one to say make exceptions to the rule, but there's a rule for the College Football Hall of Fame that a coach has to achieve, I think it's something, I can't remember if it's like 600 games coached or something like that, and he's 2 off of the threshold. And I really hope they make an exception to the rule. And yeah, you look at the coaching tree right there, it's ridiculous. You look at, those are some overall heavy hitting names. Some better than others, obviously, but
yeah.
You look at it. He took the Big 12 at the time, which was a predominantly, very much so, triple option style conference, to what we jokingly call now being Big 12 take the over. So he will be missed. Now, obviously, like I said, I hope they do make for one time the exception to the rule to get him into the College Football Hall of Fame. Bowl games, though, we're officially into Bowl Mania time. And one bowl in particular that I do want to dive into quick before we make a couple of different picks is the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Now, Wasabi, not the Japanese food condiment. It's a company. Don't know exactly what they do. But the Fenway Bowl is interesting. Fenway Park isn't exactly constructed well for football. In fact, there's only been one football game played there before.
I think it's mostly known for baseball,
Correct,
right?
I believe. Nick, do you know who one of the teams was that participated in the lone football game at Fenway Park?
I'm going to go Boston College.
Theoretically, you are correct, but I was hoping you'd say you were Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Oh, okay. When was this? It was
2018, I believe it
Yeah, I
was.
thought it was recently.
Yeah. So, or no, not 18. I believe it was 17 rather. But look, Fenway Park has hosted other football games. Really, that's the only Division 1A game that they've ever had. This is a bowl game that's now been pushed back 2 different times, and it's beyond unique. You have the walls are very close. There's not a lot of room to escape, but more uniquely,
Lambeau Leap?
More uniquely, the sideline teams are sharing.
Yeah, they're on that left side there.
Yep. It provides for quite the.
When's this one on? When is this?
This one's Saturday at 11.
Interesting.
But it provides for potentially an interesting dynamic if things happen.
Are
certain
people going to
ways.
sit up in the Green Monster?
Oh, I would imagine. And also specifically in the matchup itself, Cincinnati-Louisville, this is a old school rivalry game. They battle for the Bag of Nails trophy. Or Keg of Nails trophy, rather. So 2 trophies on the line in this game. Rivalry game. And to add more to the pot, even though he's not coaching in this game, Scott Satterfield is going from Louisville to coach Cincinnati next year.
What happened to Cincinnati coach?
Luke Fickell is now the head coach of the Washington Badgers.
Oh, wow. I did not hear that.
Yep. So, a lot to dissect there.
Paul, why can't we play here in this game?
What's up?
Why can't we play in this looking like this?
For that
This
is
is where
Fenway,
Boston
so-
Patriots were there. I'm not sure the year.
It's been a hot minute, and obviously the dimensions have changed
Gotta
since
be
then.
before 2000.
I'd say at minimum, considering that the Boston Patriots were renamed New England sometime in the early 70s. Yeah, let's make some picks. Talk about the unique bowl in of itself, right? The Bahamas Bowl. First bowl game of Bowl Mania tomorrow morning at 11:30. Features Miami of Ohio and UAB. I know you're a big Blazers fan, Nick.
Huge. I've been following them a long time. They got Dame Dalla. They used to have CJ McCollum.
That's a different bowl.
I'm going UAB.
Yeah, I'm on UAB as well. If you like run and gun, a game at 3 o'clock tomorrow is also for you. The Cure Bowl, the UTSA Roadrunners, and the Troy Trojans. This is a fun one. I'm going with my beloved Meep Meep UTSA Roadrunners.
Not too often you see number 25 taking on number 24.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and look, I mean, this was actually brought up in a lot of circles, the fact that you have 2 ranked teams in such a low bowl game.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on the Cure Bowl. The Cure Bowl, actually, not to go down too far of a path, every bowl game has like their own charities there kind of stuff, but the Cure Bowl, by far and away, is the best bowl of this. Most of the profits go directly to cancer research, breast cancer research specifically. On site, they're providing free mammograms for individuals, other resources available to people. It's by far and away in my mind, probably the best bowl in terms of actually giving back and doing good. So, but yeah, not what I mean by a low bowl. It's just that you have 2 ranked teams going the first day of bowling. Like that, I think it's only happened one time before, and that was sometime in the 90s. I can't remember exactly.
And you're going with?
I'm going UTSA.
Not so fast.
Oh, get the pencil.
I'm going with the Troy Trojans.
And it's a good pick. It's a toss-up pick. You look on ESPN right now, it's 50-50.
You know what's something funnier than 24? 25. So I'm going with Troy.
Obviously, the Fenway Bowl, I mentioned that a little bit with Cincinnati and Louisville. I'm going Cincinnati. I just think they got just better talent on that team this year.
Louisville football does have 7 more wins than the Louisville basketball team.
No, 6.
They won?
They won last night.
Really?
Yep.
But I'm going Cincinnati.
The Celebration Bowl, it's the two highest or best records of historically black colleges and universities this year. It's Jackson State and North Carolina Central. Jackson State should really take care of it.
Jackson State.
Yeah. The Las Vegas Bowl and one of the more lopsided bowls as well, if you look at it.
Not
from
to skip
record.
ahead. Is Deion coaching that game?
Yes, Deion is. Florida and Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl. Oregon State 9-3 and 14th ranked against 6-6 Florida.
6-6 Florida.
Yeah.
I'm going with the 14th team.
Yeah, I'm going with the Beavers. The LA Bowl, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, Fresno State and Washington State. Fresno State, if you're into like the NFL draft and stuff like that, they got a ton of NFL prospects on that team. I'm going Fresno State.
You know you made it when you have a bowl named after you.
Or you just pay enough that you get the sponsorship.
I'm going Fresno State.
The Lending Tree Bowl, the 5-7 Rice Owls, the lone under 500 team, get in through academics because, of course, it's Rice against Southern Miss. Both teams in their first bowl games in a number of years. But I'm going Southern Miss, led by. Any guesses? Not head coach, player I'm talking about. Frank Gore Jr.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you can't go against that. So I'm going with Southern Miss.
The New Mexico Bowl, this is going to be an absolute gunfight, in my opinion. SMU against BYU, two very low-ranking defenses against two very high-ranking offenses. I'm going the Mustangs of SMU.
You like the team names with the three letters. So going with BYU.
Frisco Bowl, Boise in North Texas. I think Boise here is going to run rough shot on them, unfortunately.
When we go to the 12-man playoff, will Boise State get its shot? I think they deserve.
We can only hope.
Going Boise.
Marshall and UConn in the Myrtle Beach Bowl on Monday.
Well, here's the thing. Marshall beat Notre Dame.
It's true.
Syracuse beat UConn. Mm-hmm. Syracuse lost to Notre Dame.
You're doing a circle of suck thing here.
Going Marshall.
Good man. The Idaho Potato Bowl on Tuesday, Eastern Michigan
Great
and
bowl.
San Jose State. Eastern Michigan only making their 9th ever bowl game. I'm going Eastern Michigan, by the way.
I'm going Eastern Michigan as well.
The roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl on Tuesday as well. Liberty against Toledo. I will never pick Liberty. Give me the Rockets.
What's your deal with Liberty?
It's a sham institution ran by a bunch of sham Christians.
Okay, I won't go against you. I'll go Toledo.
Good man. And then the last bowl game before we reconvene next week is the New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky and South Alabama. This is a tough one. It picks my heartstrings to not go with my Hilltoppers. I gotta go with South Alabama though.
Going with the Jaguars.
Yep.
I'll go with the Jaguars as well.
Good man. All right. That's enough of Bowl Mania. A couple things to touch on here before we head out. NBA. We're already a third of the way through the NBA season.
How about the
Kind of
number
crazy to think about.
6-seeded New York Knicks?
Well, let's talk about them because they're one of the teams that people are bringing up in the whole entire who's real, who's not, pretenders, contenders thing already. I do have to eat a little bit of crow with them because, look, I said, if Jalen Brunson is your main signing on the year in the offseason, I don't think it's that great. But look, he stepped up again. I think in a lot of ways, like he stepped up with the Mavs when Luka Doncic was hurt the past couple of years. Now, I still think that they need to go and get somebody. I don't know who that is. It's got to be through a trade, obviously, if you're doing it in season. And it's kind of weird, at least about the Knicks. This is a team probably about 2 weeks ago that Thibodeau was for sure on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm. And they started playing a little defense.
Yeah, now you're kind of circling back around to the fact that this team, they probably are punching above their weight class a little bit, admittedly. But, when you have a team chemistry and rolling like that, it's hard to stop.
They're built to win a championship. Not just a championship, but multiple championships.
Okay. Interesting for a team that hasn't done it since 1973.
Yeah, just, we're due. So, no, but in all seriousness, it's nice to be, out of the play-in, just to physically see them not in the play-in and not on the outside of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But you got to remember, this New York Knicks team was the number 4 seed just less than 2 years ago.
Right.
So they, as much as I didn't like to see Derrick Rose or Cam Reddish come out of the rotation, it has seemed to work. They have done pretty well since they did come out of the rotation, as well as Evan Fournier, who's now missed, I think, 15 straight games without playing. He's been out of the rotation as well, so they're going to make some trades. They always do. They're usually bad. Don't say that. It's nice to see them over 500 again, but I am not cutting any slack with Leon Rose or Perry.
I mean, he's in a tough spot because he's got to deal with
their trades are so bad. They're just terrible. They're not run well right now. Pirates, on the other hand, are run pretty well right now. Don't have a great owner. Neither have a great owner.
Nate was fidgeting over there in about the worst way.
Nick, I saw Carmelo is interested in playing basketball again in the National Basketball Association.
God, no.
Would you welcome that?
I
don't.
Would love a one-day contract with that.
There you go.
Retire Nick?
Yes. He's a Nick for life. Always will be.
Because when I think,
but I don't want to play on
peak,
I don't want
the Knicks.
He would ruin the team. I don't want him playing on the team. But one-day contract, sure. We have the 1C locked up, regular season finale. Yeah, let's get him on the team.
Can we take the Grizzlies and Pelicans for real?
Pelicans, no.
Really?
Yes. Ever since I saw the Atlanta Hawks get a number 1 seed, I will never take the NBA regular season seriously. It's just how I feel. Sure, the Pelicans are good. Zion Williamson is good. They have a really good coach now as well. Willie Green, I think.
Yep.
They're a good team. But we saw just last year, the Suns were a really good team. And yes, they made the finals 2 years ago. They didn't win it, though. And they didn't make the finals last year. We see all the time these teams come up and they get these 1 or 2 seeds, and you're like, oh, man, we're sold. I'm not buying any of them until they prove it in the playoffs. It's like the Denver Nuggets. There they are, 3 seed again, always up there, but you know they'll lose in the playoffs because when you really think about that team, all they have is Jokic, maybe Murray. I don't know. I am buying the Grizzlies because they had a little bit of a play. I'm huge with playoff experience.
I don't know how you can buy into the Grizzlies but not buy into the Pelicans at the same time.
Grizzlies have won 6 in a row. Pelicans have lost 1 in a row. No, but playoff experience. The Grizzlies got a little bit of it last year. They got a taste of it. Pelicans, yeah, they got a little bit of play-in experience. They did get in the 8th seed. But Zion, who's the main piece of that team, was not on that team last year when the playoff.
Exactly.
They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. As of right now, and probably till the playoffs start, they are definitely going to get upset somewhere.
I don't really want to do the whole song and dancing with the LA teams. I think you can find more than plenty, especially on one of them in particular elsewhere. I do want to mention the Clippers fascinate me because they're kind of playing a little bit better, in my opinion, again without Paul George and Kawhi. Well, both of them have come back for short stints each.
Kawhi's back. He had a triple-double last night.
But it's weird. The Clippers, though, to me, present a really fascinating case study the next probably month and a half.
Yeah.
Because they do have all the pieces there. I know you're not big on Ty Lue, but he's pretty well regarded within the coaching circle in the NBA. They got a really good cohesive unit. So I'm interested to kind of see what they can do. I don't buy into the Suns at all. I think there's a lot of turmoil going on behind the scenes there.
Over the last 5 to 10 years, there's been 3 guys I just do not trust in the playoffs, and that is Paul George, James Harden,
Chris Paul,
and Russell Westbrook.
Oh, okay.
And Chris Paul. You can throw him in there as well. They're just playoff losers. They're never going to win it. Especially Russell Westbrook. Never going to win. And then, especially James Harden.
Well, Harden's the Sixers are actually in a tough spot. It's not just Harden, but the Sixers are in a tough spot. He needs to accept I don't think he's even a number 2 guy anymore. I think the miles have just caught up to him. So I don't know. It's also fascinating to me that the actual best two teams on the NBA are in the East, and it's probably not close.
I'll say this for your Heat. The Heat, Warriors,
yeah.
under 500, both of them.
Yeah.
Not worried about either one of them. They will be fine.
Yeah, I mean, the Steph Curry injury is interesting from last night. A lot of people are freaking out about it. I don't. Look, he reached in, he got his shoulder jammed, shoulder popped. I think he'll be fine, but, you know, that's why we're at. The Warriors, I think, are in a rougher spot than maybe the Heat or really any of the teams that we kind of thought would be a little bit better than they are or better than they should be. You know, the Hawks, for example, kind of fall in that category. Obviously, the Heat, you mentioned that. You look in the West.
Room for the Kings.
You look in the West, probably like the Mavs fit into that bill a little bit. But like Golden State, when they were without Steph, and they're going to be without Klay Thompson, for instance, tonight.
We got some video.
I mean, yeah, like you just reached in like an idiot. You know.
How about the Pacers, though, playing well?
Yeah, I mean, they are. But like the Warriors are the team that should be worried or / in panic mode the most. I mean, there's just a lot of roster issue on that team that I don't think is resolved, and I don't think hasn't been taken care of, to be honest. So is what it is. Shout out to though before we wrap up to the baby Cavs.
Yeah, man.
I think it says a lot that
they keep playing well.
Donovan Mitchell is thriving in Cleveland as well.
I mean, he thrived in Utah.
Right, but what I'm getting at is the people who are just like, how much of it is allegedly Gobert, how much of it is allegedly whatever, and it's pretty apparent who probably was really the cog in that system. You know,
they have a good young team, the Cavs.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, do have to mention the World Cup though. Neither of our, I'd say, fortes, but we have the final set. It's Argentina against France. We have some legacy on the line. Morocco almost had history, making the first African team to make it to the final. It's been an interesting World Cup. I mean, I don't really want to. I don't want to dive into the, I guess, the political aspects of it. It's really, I don't think the spot for it. But
I don't mean to speak for you, but you're not a big soccer guy.
No.
Neither am I. You're looking at two guys that are not huge with the game. No,
I was more excited for Syracuse's national championship game, to be honest, than I was any World Cup game so far this year.
I just have to say something. The penalty kick,
mm-hmm.
It's the stupidest rule I've ever seen.
Ooh.
It is so dumb. It's like one thing, when PKs come, you see a lot more misses because they're more prepared for it. But you just do it randomly in the middle of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in a sport where goals come too little, they don't come as often. And you just allow not even the player that gets fouled. You can send your best player up to kick this little chip shot. And they're allowed to, take. It can pretty much decide a whole game is on a ref's call. And I don't know, just not a big fan. Move it back a little. I mean, I could do a lot to make this game a lot better. Well, one, let's get a guy to control the clock. Come on, let's stop the clock. If you want to give him another possession, then do it when it hits 90. I don't want to see I don't want to see someone score in the 103rd minute and then they score early in the next overtime and it's like the 100th minute or whatever. Right. But let's create more jobs. Let's get a guy on the clock.
Where are you going down right now?
Let's have someone control the clock, because if there is someone who's doing that, that is the easiest job in this world, to just adjust the score. He doesn't even have to stop the clock. I don't know, the whole clock thing. Like, the time has passed. It's time to move on. Let's get a guy to control the clock.
I'm not too sure what just really happened.
But also,
apparently we're leaving.
Sorry, my fault on that.
That's Nate telling me to wrap it up here. But yeah,
you're rambling about something right now. I don't even know if it's soccer.
It's like soccer, man. It is the number one sport in the world.
So anyway, we do have legacies on the line Sunday morning. Obviously, Messi in Argentina. The great debate, as always, between him and Ronaldo. But for France and Mbappe, this is a team that should be pretty much back at it again come 2026. Argentina, a little bit, I'd say, more uncertain in terms of that. at this point. So, who do you got?
Mbappe.
Mbappe in France?
Yeah, they're good, man. Argentina, obviously a lot on the line. That guy right there, Taylor Twellman, he made a good point. This is like Michael Jordan taking on LeBron James. You know, you got Messi taking on Mbappe. And, yeah, so it's pretty cool I think they got a pretty cool final. I have to get up a little early for that.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Not a big fan of the third place game. I don't care for third place games. I think they're stupid.
I am sitting here just waiting for Nick to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
I mean, I don't disagree with him in theory.
Who cares who gets bronze? Seriously.
Right.
But I like Morocco in that game.
All right. Wow.
It's two good goaltenders in that game. But I'm going France and Morocco.
Okay. I won't go France and Croatia, but, you know, each your own. So I'll take care of Fresh Takes for today. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Nick, who are you shouting out?
Fantasy football playoff start tonight
True.
for our league. Obviously,
Most leagues.
Paul's not there this year, but I'm going to shout out my brother Matt, Andrew Lucchesi, Fletcher Reese, Sam Shields, and Justin Hilwa, all in the playoffs. But yours truly is the number 1 seed because of Josh Allen. That is my guy. Josh Allen, Travis Kelce, Derrick Henry. You're going to bring it home for me for the first time this year. Let's go.
I'm pulling for you, Nick.
Thank you.
Also, I'm pulling for myself to get the punishment because it's the worst one ever.
Hey, best of luck, man.
Best of luck to you.
Have a great holiday.
We'll be back before that. Anyway, though, if you can't catch us live here on YouTube, you can always catch up anytime there. FingerLakes1.com, Spotify, Anchor, other major podcasting platforms. And until next week, we'll talk to everybody then. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. It's going to be a little bit of a cold one.